Hey, it's King McKay. Tyrion, everyone's favourite drunken dwarf. He's smart, cunning, and thoroughly depressed. What if I told you that he could be the bringer of an entirely new era for Westeros? This is Tyrion's democracy. I believe from studying Tyrion's arc as a character that the experiences he's faced will lead him to the conclusion that democracy is the way forward for Westeros. So in this video, we're going to talk about the evidence and hints of how Tyrion could be the instigator of at least the early stages of democracy by the end of the story. The best way to see how we can get to this conclusion is to look at Tyrion's life as a whole so far. Tyrion is a well-read, well-educated nobleman that's been treated by some as a second-class citizen for being a dwarf. He's travelled far and wide to the war where the Night's Watch elect their leaders, all the way to the tribesmen of Vale, who let everyone in their tribe have a voice. And importantly, he has gained a huge distaste for the noble class.
I saved this city and all your worthless lives. I should have let Stannis kill you all.
I did not kill Joffrey, but I wish that I had. I wish I had enough poison for the whole pack of you. I would gladly give my life to watch you all swallow it.
Now already we are seeing Tyrion break away from the social norms of Westeros, as he realizes how terrible it is firsthand. As we just saw, he knows what it's like not to have a fair trial, to have to ask permission to ask questions to witnesses, and how trial by combat is a ridiculous but resourceful way to prove one's innocence. Tyrion has been rich, poor, and even a slave. Almost more importantly, he has seen how Dany really is. Over and over in this series, Dany has claimed her right to the Iron Throne by her blood as a Targaryen. But believe it or not, no one that follows her does it for that reason. Her Dothraki follow her by choice for her strength. The Unsullied were given their freedom and chose to follow her because she cared about their rights and freedom. All the slaves, from Astapor to Meereen, that had joined her did so because they believe in her politics of freedom to all, tearing down the slavers and helping the poor. It is her character, her morals, and her courage that have made her the leader she is, not her blood. Well, the dragons did help a bit, but that was more of a storytelling aspect. So because Tyrion is Dany's hand, he can easily make himself in the position to push her towards a more democratic Westeros. Okay, so there are a few major things that stand in the way, such as the uneducated majority and the distaste for such ways of organization. Even Tyrion himself thinks ill of democracy in the beginning of the story when he's viewing the way the Mountainclads decide to do what they do. That was the trouble with the clans. They had this absurd notion that every man's voice should be heard in council, so they argued about everything endlessly. Even their women were allowed to speak. So, of course, I don't believe that all of Westeros will accept this way of life fully overnight, but rather follow the early stages of it by accident when choosing to join Dany. Now overall, we can see Tyrion having this arc towards this realization, but there needs to be a turning point, something that will click and set Tyrion off on this path, and I believe that will be the famous riddle Varys told him.
Are you fond of riddles?
Why? Am I about to hear one?
3 great men sit in a room, a king, a priest, and a rich man. Between them stands a common sellsword. Each great man bids the sellsword kill the other 2. Who lives, who dies? Power resides where men believe it resides.
So in that riddle, Varys makes the point that the rich, kings, and priests are not the ones that have the power, but simply that power resides where men believe it resides. So if it is the men that dictates who has the power, then it is the men or the people who have the power. That's democracy. So once Tyrion figures this out, all he has to do is show the people that they are the ones in control. The stepstones for this have already been paved by the sparrows, but once Dany comes with Tyrion at her side, it'll be a different story entirely. A few comments I got when I briefly talked about this was about the bittersweet ending. Well, I've said in the past I believe that there are three main themes that George R. R. Martin and Game of Thrones has. There's anti-war, feminism, and feudalism is bad. Clearly with all the strong female characters like Dany, Sansa, and yes, even Cersei, feminism has been well and truly hammered home. Also, every battle throughout this series has progressively got more horrible for both sides, anti-war. So I believe in the endgame, or the finale to the series, there will be a strong message of feudalism is bad, or democracy. The bitter will be the loss of characters that we have loved and connected to for so long, and the sweet will be the bright future for those who remain. Thanks for watching. There's a lot more I wanted to say about Jon and what he can do to forward democracy, so you should check out this video that inspired me to make this one from James of Thrones. He goes through some interesting points about the free folk and Jon as a king, so check it out. Now I'd be really interested to hear what you guys think about my theory and what evidence points you would add to it or tear down from my one, because this theory I believe a lot more strongly than some of the other theories I believed in the past, because a lot of the theories I talk about on this channel are kind of sub ones that have cool evidence to them but really aren't in my heart. Like I have a whole series dedicated to weird Game of Thrones theories. So let's start a discussion in the comment section or make a response video of your own about this theory. I'll be really interested to see what you guys say, and I'll see you guys then.